Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit now about connecting with young people, whether that's a tween-age child or a teenager or even an adolescent. I guess what I'm going to talk about now would cover the ages of probably kids from emerging sort of early puberty around 11 even, some 10-year-olds, right up to later adolescence. And I always say there are many, many ways to connect with an adolescent. Win-win communication allows you and your adolescent to both feel like you've maintained your ground and gained something from the interaction. And this really leads to positive results. There's 4 key elements to creating a win-win conversation. We want to be speaking to the inherent goodness of our young person. Secondly, we want to acknowledge their intention or their goal. Thirdly, we want to be very calm and neutral in describing the issue. And fourthly, we want to state the desired or considerate behaviour that you'd like to see. When these elements are included in conversations, the lines of communication stay open and both of your needs are respected and met. And in this way, you can work together to find solutions to problems and problematic behaviour. So I'm going to cover some familiar scenarios that offer the opportunity for a win-win conversation. The first is about being responsible and respectful. I can't tell you how many times I hear or have these sorts of conversations in this clinical room. So if we're concerned that a young person's not being responsible or respectful, as a parent we could say, I love your general knowledge and that you feel so confident to speak your mind. When you correct your sister in public, I feel really upset and I'd like you to do it differently. Do you have any ideas on how we could do it differently so that you can speak your mind without putting her down? Another way we could talk about this is in regards to freedom. We could say to a young person, I want you to have freedom. I know that you like doing new things and I love that about you. Here's the deal. If you want freedom, then you need to do your bit by checking in with me and being home at the agreed time. For those of you that work with me or that have heard lots that I talk about or read my books, you will know that for adolescents, the values that I talk about are them staying in touch, staying safe and being kind. So all of these examples I give you come back to those 3 core values. Another thing we could be saying to a young person is, I love your sense of self. I love your sense of fun and your spontaneity. I know it is sometimes hard to keep me posted when your plans change. You need to do your part by staying in touch. I know we can get this right so that it works for us both. Another example might be, I appreciate all your thoughts into the reasons why I should say yes right now. I love how your mind works and I promise that I will try to say yes as much as I can. I really don't want to disappoint you, but this time the answer has to be no. So in those statements, I'm holding my relationship with them and holding it very firm. We also want to balance family time. So how do we balance family time? How do we speak to a young person about balancing family time? Well, as a parent, you could say, You've always been such a good and committed friend and I want you to have lots of time with your friends, but we need to find a balance between time with friends and family time. Another thing we could say to young people is, I'm so proud of how seriously you're taking your schoolwork, but I also need you to remember to do your bit in the kitchen and load the dishwasher and wipe down the table. When we're talking about young people taking good care of themselves, as a parent, you could say, I'm so proud of how responsible you're becoming, and I'm also hearing you when you say that you're not tired at bedtime and that you're struggling to fall asleep before midnight. I don't want to bug you on this and I want you to make your own decisions, but if you're not getting at least 9 hours sleep at night, then I'm going to have to step in and make a bigger issue of this. It's important for your learning that you get enough sleep. My youngest daughter doesn't always let herself have time for breakfast. And one of the things I'll often say to her is, I know that you're not into breakfast at the moment, but make me a list of the things you could stand and I'll make sure I have them for you, because skipping breakfast isn't an option, but choosing what to eat is. When we're talking about managing risky behaviour, a parent could say to a young person that we're concerned about the risks they're taking, I think you make really great choices. And I don't want to offend you by saying this. I know you'd never want to get into an argument with your friends, that you really trust them. But if one of your friends or their parents have been taking drugs or drinking and they're planning to drive, you need to stay out of the car. Even if it means getting other people involved, you know that you can always call me or someone else you trust, but you can't get in that car. I love to say to young people, no matter how hard things get, I adore you. I'll always love you and I'm here for you no matter what. I know that part of being a young person is that you want to try new things, and I'm worried that what you're doing is unsafe and that this is putting you at risk. I'm curious about how you're feeling and what's happening for you. More ways to connect. Connection's so important. Notice how your adolescent experiences you. Reflect on how your adolescent experiences you, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, your behaviour and your mood. Notice how your young person experiences interactions with you. You know, some parents realise that they're short or critical or overly preoccupied with their commitments, their phone or their computer. When you start paying more attention to this, your natural tendency will be to balance your energy and activities more for their sake. I always say, think adolescent. By thinking like your adolescents, you will enhance your ability to connect with your young person, and notice when they're available and open to connecting with you. I always say, make the most of unexpected opportunities to connect. When adolescents are unwell, when they're quiet, or they're feeling self-conscious and out of place in a social event, take the opportunity to connect with them. Make the most of their accessibility and tap into their sense of fun. Please, please, please don't accidentally punish your adolescent. Avoid the temptation to remind young people of their chores when they just, I guess, appear from their bedrooms, as it sends them the message that they should isolate themselves and stay away. Be mindful to keep it positive when they do emerge from their room or arrive home, and try to avoid negative or repetitive conversations about chores. Try putting sticky notes on their bedroom door, reminding them of their commitment of their jobs or the jobs that they've agreed to. And by doing this, your face-to-face time can be spent engaging in more fun and interesting conversations. I know this is complicated. I know parenting young people is not easy. I'm living it too. But I do hope after listening to this that you might feel empowered to have more win-win communication with your adolescents, so that you both feel like you've maintained your ground and gained something from the interaction, and ultimately have more positive interactions moving forward.